Welcome to the Squid Game, the broken game. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Dr. Lee, and I will be your host talking about the global mega hit Netflix TV show, The Squid Game. The moment I watched the first episode of The Squid Game, I instantly fell in love with it. Before The Squid Game, there was nothing quite like it among Korean dramas or movies. Most television shows were focused on life stories of plain characters in plain settings, with romance involving stories at their work or whatnot. Then came the Squid Game with extremely unrealistic settings, big scale plots, and lot of inhumane activities going on, which was a lot of surprise for Korean TV audiences, including me. Furthermore, the plot of the Squid Game was so intriguing. It had this attractiveness that makes watchers or viewers not able to stop watching the show. I ended up watching the entire show 3 consecutive times, and I even searched up online columns, articles, or any blog posts that analyzed the show, which was extremely intriguing to me. So, you could probably say that Squid Game is currently on the top 10 list of my TV shows and dramas and movies. While there are so many sociological stories or theories behind the Squid Game, today we are willing to talk about the philosophy behind the Squid Game. Not just pure philosophy. We're going to discuss about the philosophy of game, philosophy of play that is hidden behind this gigantic artificial show or game where participants have to kill each other to take the grandiose amount of prize. Our topic of the day is about fairness. Before we talk about how fairness is treated inside the Squid Game, let's ask ourselves, why is fairness so important when it comes to playing games or just doing any kind of playful stuff? While the importance of fairness will come to you intuitively, it is quite hard to come up with a logical answer why it matters so much. Various philosophers has discussed about the philosophy of playing games, and they have gave us various answers about why fairness is so important inside any kind of games. For example, McGonagall believes fairness is so important because fairness allows an equal chance to lose and succeed in a game to every players or every participant. If the failure or if the chance of winning something is extremely random and extremely passive, this takes away the sense of agency from the gamers. This takes away the sense that they are controlling, they're contributing to their own situation, and this takes away all the fun from playing games itself. That's why fairness is so important to McGonagall. Ian Bogost, a famous video game designer, has his own theory of why fairness is so important. Well, according to Bogost, the essence of playing games comes from the fact that players voluntarily put certain restrictions on actions they can do. When these restrictions are imposed, they have to follow the restrictions, even when there are much easier or convenient ways they can achieve something in real life virtually. And this is why, presumably, fairness is so important to Bogus. Those restrictions must be applied equally and universally to every players. If one player goes against to that restrictions and finds an easier way to achieve the goal of the game, then there's no reason to play the game in the first place. Now I have introduced you two philosophers, two experts in the philosophy of game, discussing why fairness is so important in playing games. Now it's our time to talk. Let's give a moment to ourselves. Let's talk to friends around you, people around you, and try to answer the question, why is fairness so important in playing games? Okay, good job, everybody. It looks like we all had a really fruitful discussion. Then, let's go back to our original topic. Let's go back to the Squid Game. Let's think how fairness is shown to us inside the show. The most striking example of fairness inside the Squid Game can be resembled by the actions of the frontman. The frontman is a mysterious figure dressed in all black who administrates the entire Squid Game. He leads the Pink Soldiers and operates the game, making sure that every followers obey the rule without any exception. To maintain fairness within the game, the frontman will not hesitate to even kill people. This is well shown in the scene where the frontman publicly executes Pink Soldiers, who told a participant who happens to be a doctor about future games beforehand. Then why is the frontman so obsessed with fairness? What makes him to do anything to preserve the sense of equality inside the Squid Game? Well, it seems to me that, in some sense, the frontman is fantasizing about the world that Squid Game has artificially created. Why? Because he is mad at the real world that we are all living in. He thinks that the outside world, the world outside of Squid Game, is a world full of corruption, a world full of inequality and unfair tactics playing around. Why he ended up like that is a question that we cannot answer. Maybe it's because of something that happened to him in the past, or maybe it's because of loss of a loved one. We don't know. Regardless, it is very clear that the frontman believes that the fairness inside Squid Game provides an agency to the people who have been damaged by the cruel outside world. People who went bankrupt because they made wrong choices, people who got fired from a company without no good reason, all the people who have been damaged by the cruelty of capitalism and endless competition of a modern society. Frontman believes that at least inside the world of Squid Game, those damaged people can again take back control and agency of their own life and compete with each other on a fair ground, with no one having privileges or no one having back doors where they can use to achieve things much easier and more convenient than other people. So ultimately, you might be able to say that the ideology of a frontman is similar to that of Ian Bogost, because they both believe that restrictions inside the game should be applied equally to everyone and no one should have a way to get things easier. Or you could even say that the frontman is like one of those people from McGonagall's book, Reality is Broken, who ran into virtual reality, people who got sick of the actual world, people who sought agency inside virtual world in online games. If you have listened to the podcast up to this far, you'll agree that Frontman is a very interesting character, full of things to analyze and talk about. But you will also start wondering, was Squid Game a really fair game? Was it ideal and beautiful like the frontman believed, or was it not? That indeed is a very interesting question, and there are also lots of things to talk about that question. So for now, I'll end the podcast here. We'll meet next time and we'll discuss furthermore about the fairness, the real fairness of the Squid Game and what it means. Thank you all for listening to my podcast, and let's see you at the next episode. Bye.